Perfect. Awesome. So hello, everyone. For those who don't know me, my name is Stella Madden, and I am an independent and area manager with Arbonne. Tonight's topic is getting your consultants to district. So one thing I want to kind of start by sharing is you can't do it for them. You can't work harder than them. And this was a tough lesson that I had to learn really early in my business. Jenna Bolton is my upline, and she kept telling me that you can't drag people. I wanted to drag everyone. So it was really kind of, I had to reflect on a lot of things of points I wanted to share tonight, and coming from a perspective as the consultant that you're leading someone else and trying to create that duplication, and the best way to do that without doing it for them. So I have notes. I'll probably be reading them a lot, or else I tend to get off on tangents and lose the actual point I'm trying to make. But there is 5 areas I want to cover tonight. And the first one being know your consultant. So what is their why? We hear this all the time. Learning what their why is. Why did they say yes to this business? What intrigued them? They might not even know what an MLM company is or know what Arbonne products are, but something you said or something you shared with them or something you made them feel lit a fire in them. So figure out what that is. Another question I like to ask my consultants, new consultants, is like, what amount of money would make a difference? For me, when I started, a $500 difference is going to make a difference between me going in an overdraft or not. And then using that to ramp them up, get them excited, and show them how quickly you can get them a paycheck in their pocket. Hold on, I also want to start a timer. So, sorry. There's a really good document that Shannon Smith, I don't think, maybe Shannon didn't actually create it, but it's Discover Your Why. And I've been really implementing that with new consultants and really hammering out and getting to the root core of what their why is. I find it really helpful to kind of get to that next question, that next layer. Like, why do you want to make more money? Why? Because I want my husband home. Or why do you want your husband home? And all of those pieces are really helpful. If you have consultants on your team like myself that are maybe more seasoned, I found the freedom letter that has kind of just went out really helpful to folks to really want to start, and myself, creating your vision. I have been dodging doing this, and I'm going to be a lot of honesty here tonight, and I'm very much still learning and just speaking from experience. But I'm horrible when it comes to painting my vision and what that looks like. My husband always asks me, like, if we won $60 million, Stella, what would you want? And I'd be like, I want to pay off OSAP. He's like, Stella, you can pay off OSAP with the interest, like $60 million, literally, what would you do with that? And so I'm working on that, but I really found the freedom letter that has just been shared in a lot of our RVP pages really kind of lit that fire in me. And it's like, okay, enough time, enough procrastinating. Let's hammer that out, because big things are coming for you, Stella, and that is going to be one of the stepping stones to help you get there. Keep it simple for your new consultants. It's not complicated. We often overcomplicate it for ourselves. But the biggest thing when you're learning their why, but get them into activity. Get that launch party booked and in the book so that they can't get scared and back out before they've even launched. And the one benefit I find with our pandemic right now that we're currently in is we're doing them all online. So you can literally, that turnaround time is like days to maybe a week, where before when we were doing them in person, sometimes it would take a couple weekends to figure out a schedule, but the online parties are awesome that way. We can turn them around and get them launched and get them making a paycheck as soon as possible. So you want to also be stuck to your consultants like glue. You want to be like in touch with them every day, or at least this is how I run my business. One thing I always say to all my new consultants is there's no stupid questions ever. Ask me anything. It's embarrassing how long I went with not knowing what an ASVP was. I felt like I was too embarrassed to ask, and everybody always use these acronyms, and it's like, I have no idea what you're talking about. But Arbonne Special Value Pack, for those of you who do not know. But I always say there's no stupid questions, and ask me any questions that you want. Like, always ask me questions, because that gets me excited and it means that you're working your business. Now, how you respond to those questions as a consultant is where the importance lies, because you don't want to do the work for them. You don't want to work harder than them. It's showing them back to the source, our units and our RVP pages. I know a lot of information, a lot of regions have them organized like that. Reach out to your uplines for trainings, tuning into nation calls, tagging them in previous nation calls. Leanne Cameron did one on launching a new consultant, and Jill Hiltz did one on building blocks, or the importance of building blocks. I feel like they both really tie into what I'm talking about tonight to kind of give you the whole clear vision. You don't need to reinvent the wheel, keep it simple. But again, don't work harder than them. I was listening to RVP to Be training by Victoria McHugh, and she's one that can give you some tough love. And she said, if your team is not showing up, then get a new team. So don't dwell on things either, which I think is really important, and something I had to learn is if they're not wanting to meet you where they're at, or they just want to shop at a discount, then let them do that. And 2 documents, another thing that I want to touch on is the pace setter document and the daily method for success document. I feel like there's a really condensed kind of a 1-page screenshot that can really help you as a consultant launching someone, knowing what their pace is. How much time do you need to be investing into this person? Are they wanting to run, or are they just wanting to walk? And then you kind of know where to meet them. And the daily method for success document is really good at kind of introducing them to like mindfulness, personal development, professional growth, all of those pieces, which some of my consultants that I've launched had never heard about that. And it's really important. And another thing that I'm going to touch on in a few minutes. So the second piece I want to talk on is be urgent. So create that sense of urgency and excitement for your team and your consultants. They don't even know what they're being excited about, but they're just like, yay, like I have a new business, and celebrate that. Be their biggest cheerleader. Launching their business, show them the urgency in doing that and getting it done as soon as possible. Get them that paycheck. Another thing, you want them to know their numbers. So that's an important thing to kind of hammer out nice and early, so they know what they're looking or working towards and know when to be excited. So 6,000 QV to promote to district manager is what you need in 1 or 2 months. And then if you're going to promote in 3 months, you need 7,500 QV. So then tell them what that means, breaking it down into kits. You need 19 kits to promote in 1 or 2 months, or 24 kits to promote in 3 months. Explaining that to them, going through the fine-tooth comb of what that looks like, and the countdown to promotion. Be excited for that. I found Don Johnson's SoundCloud goal slicing really helpful, because I was inundated or overwhelmed when I went area. Like 10,000 QV was like, oh my God, how am I going to do that? I can't do that. But then if you break it down into each week, it seems way more attainable. So again, introducing your new consultants to that information. Helping your consultants set their goals. I was horrible at this when I first started. I didn't know what goals to set for myself. So telling them about good goals, great goals, and awesome goals. April is when I promoted or went into qualification for area manager. It was the 13th of April, and I was sitting at 181 QV. And Jenna texted me and said, you need to go area call this month. I was like, girl, you crazy. There's no way I'm doing that. But chunking it down, goal slicing, being real with myself, and getting to work with a plan was so huge. So help your consultants that way. Get a plan, get them the information to be successful. And then celebrate all their firsts. Like celebrate your first PC over 150. When I did that the first time, I had no idea what that meant, because there was so much information that I was trying to consume at once. So be so excited for them. Their first independent consultant, celebrate that. That is huge. When they sell their first 30 days, even if it's 6 months into their business, celebrate that, because they are being consistent. They're showing up for themselves. They're showing up for their business. And then they're able to duplicate that. You've shown them, and now they're able to duplicate that. So that's worth celebrating. So you want to be that urgency, consistency cheerleader for their team. Next thing, leading from the front. So be a great communicator. Your team will duplicate what they see. So I'm going to ask you, how are you setting the pace for your team? Are you like, I show up some days, or maybe I show up halfway through the month? Or are you being consistent the whole way through? Because they are going to duplicate that. that was what my struggle was earlier in this month, is I was like, oh, no one's doing anything. I need to motivate my team. But then I did some reflecting on myself. I was like, I'm not motivated. I'm not doing anything. So I got into hard activity. I was doing 15 to 25 Facebook parties a month. I wasn't relying on anybody else to do something for me. I took the bull by the horns and I went into activity, and I worked my tail off. And when I promoted to area manager, I was like, I can't keep doing this. I need people to join me. So I turned around, I reached back down and helped people start launching their business. And then from there, I was able to promote it 3 new districts. And I had a ton of girls go into district manager qualifications, which is so exciting. But I had to look at myself and be like, what am I doing? If I'm not excited and I'm not showing up, people are not going to duplicate what I am telling them to do. And I can't ask people to do something I'm not willing to do. I didn't want to do a Facebook Live. When I first started my Airborne business, it was like, I am no way talking to my phone. I'm talking to my phone in the basement, and I'm on my phone, so I can only see 4 beautiful faces, but including myself. But here I am, persevering, pushing through. But I needed to do that if I wanted anybody else on my team to do something to that. So are they seeing you do DAs? Are they seeing you do Facebook parties? Invite them to your Facebook parties. I was like that. I needed to see one done before I could do my own. So I creeped Brittany Kelly and was like, can you add me into your Facebook party so I can see this done? And she obviously said yes. Are they seeing you on Take a Look? Are they seeing your face? Learning from you. They're the ones that they have a direct relationship with. So they want to see that. And again, better together. Next thing I want to talk about, transformation. How am I doing for time? Okay, buzzing along here. Encourage your consultants to go through a transformation on their journey. Transformation breeds energy and confidence. We encourage people at the beginning to read Dare to Dream, Work to Win as their first week as a consultant. And this is available in PDF or audio if you want to reach up to any of your uplines. I'm sure they can get that for you. A lot of my consultants didn't know what personal development was, or personal growth, or professional development, or mindset. And all that is so important in your Arbonne business. So introduce them to that. Talk about podcasts, talk about books, talk about trainings, share your own experience. Tell them people they can follow on Instagram that may light a fire in them as well. They can copy your behaviors. They can copy what they see you do on Facebook. But if they're not working on themselves and their mindset and their own energy that they're bringing forward, that makes such a difference. No one wants to listen to somebody doing a Facebook Live that's just like, yeah, I share Arbonne and I'm really excited about it. Get them working on themselves. Get them fired up. Get them so excited. So I'm going to share a personal story right now, that one transformation that I'm currently in right now. I'm only on week 2, so bear with me. We're going to see how it goes. But I've always told myself that I'm not a morning person. No way I'm a morning person. I can't do the 5 a.m. club. I'm not a morning person. I've attempted many times to change my behavior by setting multiple alarms, setting alarms in different rooms, going to bed early, hoping that would help change my behavior. What I wasn't doing is working on my mindset when I actually woke up. What was I thinking? Well, I was thinking I want to curl back in that warm bed and I don't want to get up at 5 a.m. Well, that's not going to help me long term. I might be able to successfully get up at 5 o'clock for like 2 or 3 days. Do I enjoy getting up? No, my warm bed is always way better. But there was a podcast that was recommended to me by Jen Spiegel called Bookending Your Sleep. And that has revolutionized how my mind works when I wake up at 5 a.m. My feet hit the floor. I'm not going to go into detail about what the podcast is. I highly recommend that you listen to it. It's fabulous. But setting my night up at the end of my day. So when I wake up in the morning, that I know my Grains drink is there waiting for me. I'm not going to lose anything, but I have everything to gain by waking up. So I've been implementing this, and the difference in my morning is night and day. It goes from me being impatient, screaming at my kids, trying to get out the door in a rushed hour because I was late getting up and waking up with the sun, with now the sun getting up at 7:30. You know, when you like open your eyes and it's light out, And I'm just like, I'm like, my day, I haven't even put my feet on the ground. And I already know my day is like going to be screwed. And all day long, I just feel impatient. I'm like, just not in a good headspace. And that just leads into how I work my Arbonne business, how I share my Arbonne business, how I show up for my husband, my kids, all because I just wanted to stay in bed. So me listening to that podcast and working on my mindset has been the difference of how my morning starts. So now I'm able to do my skincare routine in the morning by myself and enjoy it instead of my son trying to climb in the sink, knock over everything, taking him down, my daughter screaming at me, wanting her help. I'm able to enjoy an hour of myself to myself. I'm patient with my kids when they wake up. I greet them in the morning. I get them breakfast. I'm ready. I don't look like a drowned rat leaving the house in the morning. I'm able to like share Arbonne during the day with people I run into, feeling comfortable, being like, yeah, they're going to notice my glowing skin, not be like, oh my God, she shares Arbonne. She like, I'm not buying that because like she has the biggest dark circles under her eyes. So I feel confident going throughout my day. These are all the changes that just by listening to this podcast and changing my way of thinking has transformed my morning and going through the rest of my day. There's probably a really long story to wrap it back to transformation, but encourage your new consultants to go on that transformation journey. There's so much to gain and so much to learn about yourself as well. Last but not least is be the belief. You need to show them what's possible. You need to believe in them. You need to be their biggest cheerleader. They are just going to be excited and feed off that energy. They're going to just be so pumped. Their why is going to change. You want to stay in constant conversation with them, but just be the belief. I didn't believe in myself that I was going to go area, but Jenna sure did. And she kept telling me that I know you have it in you, and I know you will. She keeps telling me that about our VP. And here I am showing up. My mouth is so dry from talking so much. I need to should have brought water. I'll know that for next time. But another thing I also want to say is don't beat yourself up about it if it doesn't go well, right? Like if you launch a consultant and it's a flop, learn from it. I've done it. I know what I'm not going to do again, but you just need to get back up on that horse and just keep going. I had a consultant that I launched. Her launch party was horrible. I don't think we had one sale, but I knew that if I wanted to keep her going, it's like, okay, I'm going to help her find that next person that we're going to do a party for. And we're going to get her launched again. And I'm going to stick by her until this girl is up and running on her own. And she is awesome now. She was just going it, but I could have just quit then. Just been like, oh, this sucks. But I knew I had to be that belief in her and show her that just because once it didn't go well, that get back on, let's keep going. This is all part of the journey. We're all learning. I'm probably going to say things today that I look back in 3 months from now, I'm like, oh my God, why did I say that? Or why didn't I say something? But that's all right. We're all at different places and smart people do Arbonne. And if they're learning from you, and that's awesome. They'll learn about residual income. They're learning about not trading their time for money. I'm getting off on a tangent and I don't really know what I'm talking about anymore. So I'm going to wrap it up. But if they believed in you, they believed in you at one point, you're the reason that they said yes. So hammer that out, figure it out why, and then run with it. Does anybody have any questions? I don't know how these things end. Normally my kids are screaming, so I'm always like, I'm going to sign off before I like unmute myself. That's all I got for you fine folks tonight, and I'm going to stop the recording.